Hi, everybody. It's hard to believe it, but we're at the end of the course. So you've completed all of your modules 1 through 7, actually 0 through 7, because we had the exploratory module at the beginning. And now it's time to begin the last module, Module 8, where you'll do a final reflective activity, which is actually writing a letter to future OBT participants and putting together your portfolio. So here we go. So, first of all, Module 8 does have assignments, the first of which is to do that leading edge certification online and blended teacher letter to future participants. And I'll show you where that is in the lesson in PowerSchool in just a moment. Next, you'll be preparing your portfolio for submission. First, before you even begin that, make sure that all of your assignments from modules 0 through 7 are completed and have a passing score. So your first task will be to go back, look in the gradebook, and make sure that every assignment has 3 points. If it doesn't, just go in and look at the comments, see what you need to do to fix it or to complete it, and then shoot us a message through the PowerSchool inbox to let us know to go back and check, say, 2.3 or something like that because you fixed it or submitted it late. Then you need to select what platform you want to use to build your online portfolio, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. Next, you'll assemble in the order of the modules all of the content that's required. Again, I'll be showing you in a few minutes how to do that. You'll embed and link all the contents other than instances where you type directly on the page. You'll add overviews for each module, kind of just a little lead-in comment or two about what the module is about and how it affected you and that kind of thing. And then you're going to actually submit the final portfolio, and we have a form on the PowerSchool page. Again, we'll show you in a minute where to do that. Then one of us will read your portfolio and send back to you any comments on things that need to be adjusted before we can submit it to the leading edge organization. When we submit it, we really want to work for 100% acceptance there, and actually we do have that right now. And so we don't want anything bounced back for a correction. So we will probably, with every one of you, have some minor fixes to do. And then once it's completely fixed up, we're going to get ready to submit the whole cohort together. We don't submit one at a time. We try to submit everybody who's ready on or around the due date. And that's better for you too, because that means that you're not going to have a portfolio that's all by itself and probably going to get more scrutiny. It's better to have it separate, not separate, but grouped with the cohort. Then the timeline from that point, when we submit the cohort's portfolios, it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to a month before we get word back that you've been certified. And so for those of you who are waiting to hear that for your Fresno Pacific credits, I think only one person in this cohort applied with Fresno Pacific for credits. But until we get that final word back of certification, those Fresno credits can't be submitted for your transcript. But that's when we'll do it. So just realize it could take 2 weeks to a month to hear back. Okay, here we are on the Module 8 page in PowerSchool. Right below the top there, you're going to see your usual textbook link. I'm going to come back to this, but you are not going to want to skip your reading here because all of the instructions are in the textbook for assembling your portfolio. And while we have some good instructions on the page here, those are really just reiterations of what's in the portfolio. Follow the portfolio instructions. You also do have one last assignment, 8.1, an LEC OBT letter. It's actually a final discussion post, but you'll be doing it in the form of a short letter about your experience in this LEC OBT course and tips to future LEC OBT participants. For this, being it's a final discussion, we're not requiring you to do reply posts, only do your post. But we also realize it's your last chance to talk to your colleagues, so feel free if you want to make some reply posts, but they are not required. Below that are your tips from Sarah and I about assembling your portfolio, but it's really just another set of reminders. The same information is in the textbook, and it's actually a little easier to read in the textbook, so we'll be showing you that in just a moment. Below that is an embedded form where you will submit your portfolio link. So as soon as you create your portfolio, it creates a link to it, even though you haven't, finished it. And from then on, anytime after you've created it, you can submit the link, because we're not going to score your portfolio until you send us a final message through PowerSchool inbox that you're done. Okay, and you want it reviewed. Up until that time, if we see the links in here, or you ask us to help you with something, we have a link and you don't have to separately send it. It's also an important place for you to let us know how you want your first and last name to appear on the certificate you're going to be sent. So you're going to enter that here. Also, what email address do you want the certificate sent to? And so that you will put here. And then and we kind of recommend that you use a private email address and not your school district one, because if you should leave the district, LEC will only know how to reach you through your district account, and if that's no longer functional, then it would be difficult for them. Sorry about that and that. I'm going to get rid of it. And then down below here is where you actually put in your portfolio. So you're going to copy and paste the URL address of your portfolio. Make sure before you do that, you've already published it so that it's public with anyone can view status. So you're going to put your link there and click submit. Below this is another form. Now this one you're not going to do until after you're done with the whole process. Portfolio has been submitted, corrected, finalized, and then the last thing we'll have you do is complete this post-course survey. And it's really just feedback that you can give us so that we can make the course better in the future. All right, so the last thing we need to do is look at that textbook, and then I also want to show you how to create a Google site. Even though you can choose to do other sites, as you're going to see here in a minute, other site platforms. So linking to the textbook takes you to the home page for Module 8. Here's your overview, your objectives, and your assignments. Click next page. And now this page here is the depth of what you need to do to create your portfolio. So as it states here, we recommend you use the new Google Sites. In fact, that's what this whole textbook has been built in. It's very easy to use, but you're welcome to use classic Google Sites, Weebly, you can use Sway. There's a lot of options out there that you could use, as long as you make sure that the navigation in the website follows the same headings as you see here. But you won't use module numbers because the public has no clue what that's all about. You're just going to use the title accessibility or evolution of online and blended learning as your page names. Okay, down below here, directions for crafting your portfolio. Its purpose is to showcase your learning during this course. Again, like I just said, don't title your pages Module 1, Module 2. That has no meaning to anybody else but us. So you want to title your pages with the wording headings of the modules that we completed. The sequence of your pages in your website in the navigation scheme should match or mirror the course. So they should look just like you see over here, except without the words Module 1, Module 2. Also, you don't need to create a page in your portfolio for pre-course exploration. And if you wish, it isn't stated here, but if you wish, you can add a page in place of pre-course exploration where you put your resume or your Vita, but that's optional. you don't need to do that, but if you have one that is up to date and you want to put it in this portfolio, by all means, put it in. Okay, moving on down the page here. Your portfolio, obviously, although I guess I shouldn't assume it's obvious, but you would want to include your portfolio assignments in your portfolio, and you're also going to include your reflections. Your discussions for each module do not need to be included. You can include them if you want, but it won't raise or lower anything. It's just extra work for you. And sometimes those discussion posts don't make sense to outsiders. So it isn't necessary and you can skip them. So what you'd be constructing then is shown here. You'll have a home page. It should include a personal picture and bio, brief introductory narrative, 1 or 2 paragraphs describing the LEC course and why you took the course, and a brief final reflection of your LEC journey. Some of this is in your pre-course exploration. So because you did a discussion post that somewhat met some of that, and you could use part of that here, but you are going to have to add to it a little bit to reflect on the whole journey. But that part would be in your 8.1 letter. So you might be able to take a little from pre-course exploration and your 8.1 letter and mush it together and have most of what you need for your home page. Then add your picture, your bio, things like that. Again, like I said, you could put in a resume or Vita page if you wanted to. Then the first module officially was Evolution of Online and Blended Learning. So that will be a page, a new page in your portfolio. On that page, you have to have an introduction paragraph. You might include the objectives there, but also some wording, not just bullets, of what that module was about. Under that, you would include your portfolio assignment. And you would, with that assignment, there was, if you remember, a description of your VEN and why you chose that tool to discuss how online and blended learning are different and overlap, etc. And then you want to make the page flow. So build in the wording and headings that make that happen. And then your reflection from that module. Your next page will be accessibility. That'll be the name of the page. Then an introduction to the module focus, just like you did in the first module. Embed, sorry, I've got mail popping in. I forgot to turn off my alerts. Anyway, introduction to the module focus. Embed your video screencast. Of course, give it a little bit of an introduction. What's this video showing? Embed it or link it, but you got to include the transcript. So you're embedding your video screencast, you're embedding your Venn diagram, you're embedding or linking your screencast transcript, okay, and then you're adding your reflection. So you can embed the reflection, you can just type it right on the page or paste it right on the page. But whatever you do with your formatting from page to page, make sure it is completely consistent. Fonts should be the same throughout. If you're using a certain heading for the introduction on each page, it should be the same font style and size throughout your portfolio. Same goes for the text in paragraphs below that. Everything should be consistent. This is actually for ADA compliance, but it's also just for professional look and feel. So this process you're going to maintain throughout, for each module, a page for each one, all the way down here to the bottom, embedding. And you may, when you do your reflections, you may need to update them slightly. You may not feel the same as when you wrote them before. So, really read everything and make sure it still makes sense for the you at the end of this course. Some other suggestions and reminders. Again, make sure that the URL you're providing is one where anybody could see it and it's published. Make sure that if you, I hope you use images, we hope you use images and charts. and other visual content. You could put, other videos into, but make sure you use alt text on any images. So when you click on a picture that you've put in the new Google Sites and even in the classic Google Sites, you can go to properties and put in a description. That description is the alt text. I believe in new Google Sites it's even called alt text. So make sure you take care of that. Also for ADA compliance, as I was talking about consistency of headings, that consistency is not just for a professional look and feel, it is also for ADA compliance. And then citations, anything you are quoting, make sure you're providing the professional citation for it, videos, text that you've cited, etc. And then there's a couple other little tips there on 5 and 6. Make sure you read that. And with that, let me show you how to create a new Google site. So yes, so I'm going to go to Google. And so I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm just going to go to google.com. Okay, I'm already logged in here. You can see my little logo for my user account here, and I can click the app launcher or the waffle, whatever you like to call it, and you can see sites. If you don't see it right there, just click more, and you may even have to go to even more to find it, but you will eventually find it. When you click on sites, it will take you to the sites page. Now, I can create a site here, but I'll let you know right off the bat. If I click this create button right here, it's going to create a classic Google site. And I'll let you see what a classic site, I started one here a minute ago. So you could see kind of boring and blocky. I wouldn't do this if I were you. I mean, you may want to do it this way. That's fine if you want to, but I would suggest that you go back and into Google Sites, and I'm going to hit the back button, and the back button again. Okay, from here. And I can't see, when I'm in here, I don't see where I should, right here, go to new Google Sites. I don't see it, and the reason I just want to share with you is if you, oh, you can't tell, but I'm in Microsoft Edge. So the new Google Sites is not available in Microsoft Edge. So to get to new Google Sites, I'm going to open up the Chrome browser. So I'm going to switch over to that. I'm opening the Chrome browser up. I'm already logged in. You can see here. I'm going to go to Sites, same way. And you'll notice when I do it in Chrome, over here it says New Google Sites, and a little like, let's go link here. So I'm going to click that. I was on the same page, it just doesn't display in Microsoft. Okay, so once you're in the new Google Sites, it's super easy. It's really easy to use. Click the plus to create a new site. So if you look down lower left or right here, see a red circle, it says create new site when I hover over it. I'm going to click that. When I click it, it's building a new site in edit mode. Okay, so once you're in here, you have a lot of options. Up here at the top, and this is really important that you get this part right, just naming it. You want to title it LEC OBT, at least here you're going to use the short version, maybe not in your content on your pages though. LEC OBT portfolio, and then put a little dash, and then you're going to type your first and last name. Okay? That's the name. It will actually create a URL that contains that once I click away from there. So I'll click away, and it's building that. Okay. So now the home page, if you go back and look at in PowerSchool at the page, let's see, it's the next page here. Go back a bit. Okay. You can see right here that I need to create a home page. So if I go back to There. Okay. So this is my Chrome version. So here I'm going to type either home or home page. Okay. You can see that the name is up here. You can change, you can add a logo. If you hover down here, you could change this background image if you want to include some other image you have. The type of header and the way it's displayed, centered in this case, it could be moved to the right or left depending on the header type, things like that. But I just named it. So I could change the theme by going over here on the right and going to themes. I can change to, go to vision. You see how that changed? And I could change colors. I'm going to go with purple since I think that's the color of the logo for LEC OBT. Why not? Okay, so you could insert the LEC OBT logo at this point. You can get that off leadingedgecertification.org's website. And as I look at things down here on the right, you can see I have some other options for some themes. Okay, this is the page that you're going to want to add your bio, your picture, little intro about why you took the course, all that you saw back in the textbook. Up here, for me to do that work of inserting that, I'm going to click on the Insert tab, and now I've got some options. I can insert a picture, I can insert text. It makes a box that I can now type in. Now I could change my heading styles this way, so title heading, heading, subheading, use those. By just following and using those consistently, your whole portfolio will be ADA compliant. If you simply start typing in normal text here right now, and then come back and jump around in those font sizes as you're working, you're going to be out of ADA compliance. So make sure that when you're doing your first heading, use, so like I would use, the title is the thing up at the box. So I'm going to go to heading here, and I'm going to say bio or something to that effect. And I'm going to hit an enter. Okay, now I would want to be, I don't think I'll have a subheading. I think I just want to, in this case, type my bio. I'm going to pick normal text and then start typing. And see, now I'm typing, in that. If I want to use bold or italics, it's really simplified this way. Left align, right align, all that is here. Bullets, if you want to include objectives when you're doing the intro on the module pages, you have all that here. You have some other options, of course, if you need them. If you are pasting over from Word or Google Docs, you're probably going to want to clear any formatting because it'll give you all kind of weird stuff. So I would bring it over and then select the whole thing and click clear formatting and then start, with the settings that are in the website here. Okay. Now, if you decide you want to move a box lower, you can move these around later. So it's so easy to use this new Google Sites. If you want to embed, you simply go over here to the right on the insert menu, and you can see all the kinds of things you can embed video, which will help you on Module 2 with accessibility. Google Docs, slides, sheets, etc. Now, if you did everything in Microsoft, no problem. You just go into the Microsoft product on the file menu. You can get the embed code from there, and then you can use this embed code option to insert the embed code and embed that document on the page. So don't use the upload option because that's only going to create it's like an attachment to an email. That's not considered user friendly. So please make sure all your embedded documents reside in your Google or Microsoft Drive, and then get them embedded here instead, and then provide a separate additional link, which you could do with your text tools. In fact, it'll just create it when you type the link in, so you don't even have to use a text tool to do that. So I think that's about it. So as you add pages, watch what happens. So I'm on the home page. I just click over here on pages, and there's only a home page. You just click this big button. You can't miss it. Or you can create a page, a link, but I don't think that works for anything we need to do here. So just click a new page. Actually, the link might work as a subpage for some of you that did your reflections over in a blog tool. So you may just decide you just want to paste over though. Okay, your next page is going to be Evolution of Online and Blended Learning, which was the wording title for Module 1. And then click Done. And you'll notice as soon as I do that, it says, oh, you've got more than one page now. So it made a navigation link to home, and it also made a navigation link to the page I just created. And it also created a header for it. And then I would just fill the content in below. Time to make another page. So I just click Add Page. The next one would be Module 2's title, Accessibility. Done. And it creates the navigation, creates the page, goes to the page, and then you just add it in. If you later figure out you've skipped one, no worries, just make it, and then you can, I'm going to make one out of order. Okay, I'll make Are You Ready, which is the very last one. So I'll make Are You Ready? Oops. I could see something I want to fix with accessibility. I bet you do too. Okay, Are You Ready? Watch your capitalization be consistent. So I'm doing initial cap, so I need to continue doing that. Okay, so Are You Ready is out of order. And I'm going to now make a page that really would be before it, which is Building and Maintaining Community. It would help if I could type. Okay, so now, so Building and Maintaining Community is now out of order. So as soon as it's done, you could see a couple things. First of all, you can see that as it can't fit any more navigation here, it's just building it down here. And that's just for because I picked this theme. I can change my theme and it will change the layout. But just to fix this, all I have to do is, you can see I've got some other tools here. Make a copy, add a subpage, hide from navigation, delete. But I don't need to do any of that. I just need to hover and move it. So this one really should go right there. And there it goes. And it just changed it. See, it's now in the right sequence. And so the length of these titles in the space we have available, it's looking a little crunched. Accessibility is kind of a big word. However, realize that when people view this, it's not going to do this because it won't have that side panel. So if I publish this, or if I just want to view it, I can do the preview here. It's probably going to look right. So you don't have to panic. This is what this page would look like for real. You can see that I can navigate around and etc. So if I want to exit this, I can look and see what it looks like on a phone. Now on a phone, I may want to change to a smaller font size in my theme. So yeah, because on the smaller formats, it's not looking so hot. Yeah, so I'm going to exit preview. So if you want to change the way, the look and feel, you just go back over here to themes, and maybe you want to do something like Aristotle instead. Okay, you can always, again, change the picture that's back here because this is kind of ugly. But see, now we don't have that problem. I can go to preview. My words will probably fit better in smaller formats. Yes, you see what I'm saying? There, it does look better. So with all that, I think we've shown you quite a bit. I'm going to ask Sarah to join for the final sign-off. Let me go back over to the slide PowerPoint, and we'll say our final goodbyes. Just make sure you submit your portfolio links as soon as you get started, even though you're not done. Actually, I do want to show one more thing. I'm going to go back over here. Actually, it's in this program. Back in PowerSchool, down here at the bottom, pretty extensive instructions, but you can see number 2, submit your LEC portfolio link. Things I've been talking about. There are in In the textbook, you're going to find those sample portfolios that you can look at. Some are in the classic style, and those that are in the classic style don't have the same navigation sequence that we're using now. So don't follow their sequence if you look at those in the classic style. But anyway, lastly, number 5, send the facilitators a message when your portfolio is ready for review. And we will both look at it, Sarah and I, and the first one of us that sees it will go through and make notes and send you our notes for feedback, things we think you should be fixing for professional look and feel, or making sure you've included everything you need to include, or missing alt text, etc. I do want you to know that we use a tool to check for alt text. There are several out there, so if you want to Google, ADA compliant website tools, you'll probably find some out there where you could run your whole site through and figure out where you might be missing alt text. And but anyway, send us a message when you're ready, and we'll go in and review. First one will send you extensive notes. Second one will probably only have one note for you, maybe two, maybe none. And then once we have most of the cohort finished, we'll send a block of you in for certification. If there's anybody that's not finished at that time, don't worry. It doesn't mean you didn't get certified or lose your chance. It just means we'll be sending you in with a different batch. And that's it. So going to go on to the next slide, and Sarah and I will join in and say our final goodbyes. Hi, everybody. Now I'm joined here with Sarah, and we're going to say one last little farewell to you. We've had a wonderful time getting to know each of you and learning about you through your writing and your conversing. It's been great. We want to encourage all of you to check out other leading edge certification offerings. We have the Professional Learning Leader, which is for TOSAs and instructional coaches, the Digital Educator, and the Administrator. You might want to try all three. Anyway, Sarah?
Well, I also want to echo what Sue said. I've had an amazing experience being able to interact with you through this blended learning experience. You guys are all amazing educators. It was so fun interacting through your work. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and how this is able to help you advance in your careers. We'll be adding you to our SBCSS digital learning newsletter so that way we can stay connected. You can also contact us through email, and hopefully we'll see you on Twitter as well. I'm at Ed Coach Sarah on Twitter, and Sue's handle is Sue P. Christensen on Twitter, and maybe at any other EdTech events. We also have our EdTech Coaches Network we'd love to see you at, and our Technology Leadership Network. So let's keep this collaboration going, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Bye-bye.